we have here somebody who is an insider. So we thought that we should get into this discussion with an insider, someone who was born in the palace, a son of the fawn. A son of the fawn, so that we can, at least he can tell us some of the things that are happening within the palace as we discuss this book. But it is important for us to look at this book as, to use it as a prism to address several issues with regard to Mankon. One, development. Two, health. Those are some of the issues that he raises in this book. Health, the development of Mankon, and how this book can impact MACUDA in particular, and Mankon as a whole. So, Prince, we would like to have your impression about this book.
Festus, thank you very much. Like Festus said, it's very important for us this year. By the end of the year, we'll be celebrating the 50 years since the fund has been enthroned, the Golden Jubilee. And this book was meant to come out at the beginning of the year so that we give an impression. We understand who he is, where he's come from, where we're heading to, and he wants us to give a critical outlook on the book, a very realistic appraisal of what he's done. So for some of us, we now understand it, that this is where it was coming from. But for those who knew in those days, the likes of Pan Tumaza, the likes of Pachibicom, they knew those things, but they never had a chance to write it. So right now we know about it.
There's one major issue that the fund raises in this book, which is that of education in Mankon. So I would like us to maybe use this book as a platform to discuss education in Mankon and see precisely what we can do because we know that education is a problem, not only in Cameroon as a whole, but in Mankon in particular. So what do we think we can do? The fund actually overcame obstacles, blocks on his path, and went through school. At some point he had to drop out and do some family business and then go back to school. So what can we do to encourage education in Mankon?
For Mankon, I don't down I don't secretary and don't a little lot. Don't PSS. Don't about this mission. May Matthew, but second Mazuruna. Marie, I don't know what time. Now we are a bit of younger. I look a woman and down one thing again. Now, but no work for Manko. The bone one and beaten. Remember between two down one work. Remember, Quentin, there's a cooking and come down one work below. I don't know going to beat it down. But I'm going to do Cuba foot and walk for Manko. Never could put it averaging anger, but I'm going to guy, she's a lad, madam. I'm going down with you. But I'm going to say, I'm going down one to Nanto high school, Longla, and so on down one Tamatino private schools. But go we're going to think up to quarter.
We encourage them to go through school. It's up to us. You can, if you were to go back to the primary school in your area in Mankon and invest even $200 a year, $200 might educate about 20-30 kids in Mankon. So please, you've got a responsibility to invest in education in your various quarters. One of the issues that he raises in his book is health, that of health. He actually says when he came back from Nigeria and was working, he doesn't even remember how much he was paid, but he remembered that he had benefits. And one of the benefits he had was health insurance. He had health coverage, very good health coverage at the time in the 50s. How many health centers do we have in Mankon? Are they equipped? Do they have required personnel? Do they have equipment? Do they have even beds? Do they have even delivery rooms? What do they have? What are we doing about it?
When you talk about health, it always kind of attracts my attention. So in Mankon or even in Cameroon as a whole, the problem with health is not the lack of personnel. We do have a lot of those small areas that are training a lot of nurses. I have two sisters who are nurses. There are lots of nurses in Cameroon, but they don't have the jobs. So we go there and we open a lot of nursing schools and we get people to pay the money. And then they train these children, our sisters, our brothers. We sponsor them from over here. And they come out of this school and they're just sitting at home. There's no hospital to practice. There's nowhere to go. So further want us to talk about is, are we opening places for these people to practice the skills that they have learned, or are we all trying to come to the US?
I'm Townhall, and I'm an attorney in Arlington, Virginia for the last 12 years, and I come from Mankon. I'll react to what you've said in two ways. First, about education. I went to Sacred Heart College. At that time, it was 12,000 francs every term, so 68,000 francs a year. Now the cost is almost 500,000 francs. But I think I would call on the palace to bring its weight to bear on this matter. When I was a student in Sacred Heart, more than half of the students were from Mankon. The school is in Mankon. They recruited from around and everything, and not that the quality of the students were in any way inferior. I mean that what does the palace owe an association like this? What have we done about it? We should take a stand and let these people know that this is an untenable situation. It just cannot continue. With respect to health, and I just came back from Bamenda, and I think the health situation in Mankon or in Bamenda itself is abysmal. The government clearly has dropped the ball. The government has shown itself not to be able to assist a local Mankon person. We have the Bamenda General Hospital that was built about 40 or 50 years ago. Is anyone suggesting that the Mankon man has not paid any taxes for the last 40 years? What has happened to the hospital? There's been absolutely no improvement on the hospital. And so, again, this is a matter for this association or the palace to bring their weight to bear on this. It is a critical issue.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I'm going to approach this with an example of a small country in the Horn of Africa, that is Eritrea. Eritrea is a country that has gone through its own trials and tribulation. And today, Eritrea stands tall because of her citizens, both at home and in the diaspora, working together. I think it's important that we're having the discussion. And the question for us is, what can we do to make the situation better? Bamenda is the bastion of the opposition. And the Bamenda man has fought hard and is the orphan child of the government of Cameroon. My challenge to MACUDA is this. Let us use the Eritrean model. There are over 2,000 Mankon people in the US. If we get together, get a plan, be it in the health domain, be it in the education domain, even in the political domain, we can't stay in the cold. We need to play the game according to their rules. And we can beat them at their game if we so desire. I know our grandparents, our parents, and others who went to school, they did things as a community. Where has that spirit gone? What can we do? Let's follow the Eritrean model. MACUDA should take the lead in this. I'll challenge us to stop complaining. Rise up, use our heads, and we can get things going. Thank you.
Thank you very much.